All right, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Oh, I gotta change my overlay. Boom. Bada boom pow. All right, so we got the Odyssey tournament here, which is basically Japanese, Mayan, and Norse Pantheons are allowed in this tournament, S tier and below. Calling it the Odyssey tournament because I picked based on which Pantheons have been, visited in the Odyssey so far. Cute, right? So yeah, we got Fenrir representing the North versus the man himself, Xbalanque, of the Mayans. Now, this matchup is absolutely terrible for Xbalanque. I think it's one of his, it's just a straight-up counter. But Kublai has actually expends his jump there, puts himself in a little bit of a rough spot, but Ridoki doesn't have any follow-up damage available. Yeah, there's just a lot of secure from Fenrir onto Xbalanque, and Xbalanque's, jump is actually a dash. So Xbalanque, or not Xbalanque, but Fenrir will be able to follow him like that when he uses it. It's ridiculous. I have no idea why they did that. It's so inconsistent, but that's Smite. I mean, it's a game of ridiculous inconsistencies. So he's technically, he leaves the ground, but he doesn't leave the ground enough, I guess, for it to be considered a jump. So yeah, it is still a dash, and therefore Fenrir follows it with that 3, making this matchup really tough for him because, any dash that Fenrir can follow up, especially on a god that doesn't have any hard CC like Xbalanque, other than, the stun from his ultimate, could mean death. So basically, Ridoki's going to have to play it extremely passively and hope to get to late game unscathed, or relatively unscathed, and get, a great late game ADC game going for him. Yeah, Hades is considered a leap. No, it following it is not inconsistent. What's inconsistent is something where someone leaps off of the air, god damn it, into the air is not considered a leap. Better off just not having him leap then, Oof, big ultimate here, and you'll notice Ridoki did not pick up a beads, so that's going to be another death there. No beads available means the easy combo for Kumai, as long as he's got the full runes on his 1 from range, is going to be able to pin down Ridoki, grab him with that ult, carry him over to his own creeps, and finish him off with the 3 again because he's got no escape for it. So this is looking real rough. Now this is Kumai's, some of you might recognize him from way back, Season 2, back when I first got into Duel he was playing, and he was really well known for his Bastet. Bastet not available in this tournament because she's Egyptian, so I'm not sure if he's still playing her a lot and grinding her. But yeah, he's a very, very powerful assassin player all around, and just a strong player in all regards. I used to have a ton of trouble against him while he sniped the shit out of me back then, and I actually hated his guts and had him banned for the longest time. But he matured quite a bit. He's actually quite a cool dude, and sometimes people don't realize how frustrating they can be in that kind of scenario. But yeah, so the people that don't actually have bad intentions with it, sometimes you can resolve conflicts, and it's always nice to see that happen. So yeah, I'm glad to have him here, and glad to have him, unfortunately, for Ridoki dominating, as, like I said, Ridoki picked into a really rough spot here. It's S tier and below, so I mean, the Xbalanque pick for him, either way, Xbalanque is not one of the greatest picks in any setting, I'd say. He's valued still because he's a hunter, so he still gets put in that. Oh, another dive here. It's coming out. Oh, the smart ult actually gets him out. Good stuff for Ridoki. Now, Ridoki's a player that we've actually seen do quite well in the, I believe in the last tournament he did. He ended up coming up pretty strong. And yeah, unfortunately, we're not seeing the performance out of him here because of I'd at least give a huge part of it to the nature of this matchup. He's got to be, he's got to resign himself to just playing it as passively as possible. And it is late at night here. We started this tournament up super late because we've been waiting out the gauntlet. The Vigilance last attempt to get to Super Regionals was unfortunately, they unfortunately fell short against Noble. really rough, but they had some like really, you know, moments of greatness there with where they showed a lot of potential. So I'm happy with how the team played. Unfortunately, at some key moments they kind of threw, and yeah, just that's what happens, you know, you're going up against a veteran team, you know, or a team of veteran players at least. Ooh, another, that's the worst interaction too, stopping short that Xbalanque dash. Then he just has absolutely nothing to get out. He needed that beads, you know. Going into Horrific Emblem here, I'm not sure what he was thinking. Because Xbalanque is the type of god that you almost always need a defensive active on because of his lack of escape and CC immunity. And, you know, Fenrir is that god that you always need a defensive active against. So, you know, it's the double whammy there, and yet he still chose for a very offensive active. And clearly not working out for him. We see Xbalanque here going into a tier 2 breastplate, so he gets a little bit of defense online and is now going into Devos. I don't know if this will work out for him. I feel like at this point he should just rush like Executioner or something and just try to go all damage with no lifesteal so that you can at least have some relative damage. You get some pen online. Interesting, Kumai's went for the Jotuns instead of going for defense here. It would allow him to dive a little bit better. You've noticed a couple times he hasn't been able to keep the dive going strong because he actually takes quite a little bit of poke from the tower. And that's the reason why, if you, like a lot of people while ahead will go into stuff like Breastplate. It actually helps shut down the enemy's potential even more than an offensive item would. So it acts as an offensive item even though it is defense. We got a lot of knowledge tonight. Because I'm Nerd Boy tonight. That's what it is. I didn't feel like putting on my contacts. I was waiting all day watching the gauntlet. All day waiting it out. And it was so shitty because Vigilant only had one game to play too. So I wasn't that interested in the rest of them, but I needed to see what, you know, what they were going up against. Also unfortunate that we lost the, or not one game to play, but one set to play. And unfortunate that we lost the one set that I waited for. Sadder for them. Sadder for them. But yeah. We got Jimmy the Shovel in chat, being a nitpicker, as he always is. If you jump into the air, Jimmy, it's a jump. Or a leap, whatever you want to call it. He literally leaps bounds, my man. Just because in the function of the game, it functions as a dash. We're talking about real life here, Jimmy. Get your head out of the goddamn game, Jimbo. We're talking about real life, man. Where when you leave the ground, you're in the air. You've jumped. By the force of your own will. Yeah, I just found out that Terra's ult heals you guys. I had absolutely no idea about this. I thought that it only increased healing that you get. So everybody's asking me why I'm not ulting in my Terra games, which there have been 2 of maybe. I don't even know why Austin brought this up, but he was watching the old A to Z, I guess. And I had never used her ult because I fucking thought that it didn't do anything unless I was going to heal myself and then it would increase healing. But apparently it heals you after you take like 5 hits, which sounds ridiculously stupid to me. Or 4 hits, I think it's 4. I have no idea why that's the function. Take 4 hits and then you heal. I don't know, but again, see, just, ooh, stopped short. Oh my god, Kumai's though, with the Nubius play actually. He had like all the time in the world to keep running with Ridoki in his mouth. In fact, he thought that he wasn't CC immune when in fact he is. I think, unless I'm completely wrong on this, he should still be CC immune while he's holding Ridoki in his mouth there, ulting back. So he stopped short to actually wait out the last tick of that, whatever the hell Xbalanque's ultimate is called, and ends up aggressing with the 3 afterward, mistiming it and cutting his 3 short. But this does not look good, unfortunately, for Ridoki. It's just going to be in one jump from Fenrir, and that'll be it. Valiant effort. Almost came back from that. But not quite. This kind of deficit, like I said, especially going into Devos, which is stacking items, so it's going to take him forever to be able to actually make this relevant. It's just, I don't think it's the play. When you get this far behind, you just go all attack speed and pen, and you just hope to God that you can get a position where you actually hit them. Oh my God, has he have another ult already? He doesn't even have breastplate yet. He might have another jump too. Yup. That Fenrir jump also allows him to get his, or lower his cooldowns if he hit the enemy. So he gets another one of those up quickly as hell to continue the chase. Walks right into that Phoenix a little bit too early before the minions took the aggro, and that'll actually stop him from getting the Phoenix here. He probably would have been able to commit to the whole thing had he, you know, not had to do that silly little back and forth. But he is just going to be able to go over the red buff. You know, he's not too worse for wear. He's feeling pretty confident right now. Said, I don't think there's much Redoki can do with the way that he set himself up after getting first and second blooded with the build as well. I think the tier 2 defense was great, and that's what he should have done. But yeah, some sort of damage like Executioner. I don't think Ickful at that point would be the play. Probably Xe. I've personally done it a lot, and it has worked. At least, you know, is why I'm like harping on it so much. I think that build is a huge help to ADCs that aren't like, you know, that aren't better ADCs. Like an On Her, maybe you can still get away with this build at this point, but nah, even him. If you're this far behind, just go for the damage in the most relevant areas where you know it's going to count. Right now, his lifesteal's not going to do too much for him because he's getting poked out for, you know, a quarter of his health per ability, if not more. And without any pen into the defense that Kumais has picked up, yeah, he's going to have a rough time. Finishes up the Nemean while Kumais goes into the Odyssey, which is like an old school Fenrir play, actually, too. More people used to do this a lot back in the day, and not so much anymore. But I've been seeing some people kind of trying to revive it, going extra lifesteal on Fenrir on top of his 2. It just gives him a lot to deal with, you know. You definitely got to get that anti-heal rolling against him, and the ADC's not going to be able to get anti-heal for a while here. Okay, with that Nemean online, you can see a little bit less damage coming out from Kumais onto Redoki. He's got another jump, though. He wants to look for it, but he doesn't have another 3 here, I don't think. Wow! Just straight up bops him because of the sprint. Was able to make it. No, he looked the other way. Oh my God, he almost screwed himself there, but he does end up getting out. Nah, there were more creeps than even I thought. If you use Fenrir's 2 with the Aussie proc, it's hilarious how much lifesteal you get back there. But you almost had a chance to catch a glimpse of it, but unfortunately for us, the timer ran out. We might see it again, but no, the timer is not in Kumais' favor. And you also get decreased lifesteal off of the Bull Demon King. So for many reasons, we're getting a little bit of the shaft here. Oh, what is happening here? There's no way Kumais is getting out of this one, unless he completely trips up Redoki, which unfortunately for Redoki he does. Redoki thought he was going left, and he went right. But, nice. Not sure why Kumais decided to fight back there. That was all greed and really, I guess, just, you know, ego at this point, saying, I am 6-0 Fenrir. I want to see if I can do this. Sometimes you just want to test yourself. You're so ahead that, you know, you just want to roll the dice and try to go for the big play. He's going to try to take down this tower, or at least do a little bit of damage. He shouldn't be able to do much because he doesn't have much attack speed or pen. But he should definitely make sure he takes down the red buff. That's the biggest priority here, in my opinion. And nah, he will go for the tower instead. And now I just worry if he does go red, because he will get killed. Nah, he'll see the Fenrir coming. Okay, so no red buff for him, but he does get the tower. I honestly think in this position, the red might have been a little bit more important. Tower is not much in Duel. Like, it really isn't. And now that he's given, you know, this big buff to Fenrir, he's going to be getting stomped each engagement that he's able to utilize that from. And the experience from that is really, really helpful at this stage of the game. But that's kind of, you know, that's kind of a toss-up. A lot of people would rather have the tower there. But I do think it's one of those, like, more intricate Duel things. He looks over at the Bull Demon at the exact same time as Kumais goes to it. I don't know if he sees him and or not. Like, maybe he saw him and he decided, I'm just going to shove wave because I can't defend this. I don't think so. I think that was just the most inconvenient timing ever. Oh, no. Now he finds him in the jungle here, which is also incredibly inconvenient timing. But a good escape, possibly, from Radoki? No, the sprint. And he uses the horrific just out of pure fear there. When the Fenrir, who's, you know, you're one hit away from death, and Fenrir is right on your tail. No matter if he's sprinted, he's beads, he's completely CC immune, you don't give a shit, you pop your horrific. And he did, and it did absolutely nothing because of the sprint. It does, of course, give him the lower attack speed, so, you know, lowers his attack speed a little bit, but unfortunately for him, all he needed was one auto. So, there you go. Fenrir finally takes down that Phoenix that he's been eyeing. And yeah, even with this Executioner done, it hasn't been enough for Radoki, as the snowball from Fenrir is just way too strong at this point. He's doing far too much damage to him, and to a god, like I said, once again, that doesn't have any reliable escape potential against Fenrir specifically. So it's a really strong counter god. Very unfortunate for Radoki that he picked into this. Xbalanque could have been a safe pick in, you know, a lot of areas in this tournament. I think his priority ban definitely should have been Xbalanque. Should have been Fenrir. Or Xbalanque, so he doesn't pick it. Either way. Does he have another sprint? Nope, but he does have an ult. Oh, Radoki uses his movement speed there to get ahead of him just a little bit, but Kumais has extra movement speed in that ultimate as well, and finds him at the end of it, outweights the Xbalanque ultimate. He never tries to really juke the Fenrir jump there. Each time, kind of just straight lines it. You really need to be able to throw him, throw him for a loop there. Because if you're just straight lining it, then yeah, Fenrir's just gonna be able to plot out your escape and hit you with another jump as soon as it's up. And you know, as we talked about, getting the lower cooldown each time he hits you with the jump successfully, he's gonna be able to keep that up. It's so important for his damage overall. So if you are able to juke it, then you get a lot off of it. Ooh, a lot of damage, but unfortunately it's not enough to take down Kumais yet. Wow, just barely getting out with the Titan damage coming in. Goes over for another red buff. I don't think Radoki has even seen the red buff this game. Look at that. That's the lifesteal. Odyssey plus Fenrir 2, man. It's ridiculous. Up to completely full off of one red buff from literally probably about 100 health. It's definitely something to behold. Yeah, of course, that's only with the Odyssey proc, so you have to get that low in the first place. But it is a huge interaction in Fenrir's that it benefits Fenrir. Yeah, so it's a good item for him. The only thing is, you stunt your growth a little bit for a snowball. In this position, he could have gone anything, given how far behind Radoki was. But yeah, you give up a little bit more of that raw ability pen, or say you want an executioner there for more effective autos and stuff like that. But like I said, it has a lot of luxury that it comes with. This is really what it comes down to. It's a huge luxury item, and when your enemy can't go anti-heal into you for quite some time, given that you're an ADC that's behind, then yeah, it makes a lot of sense to just go it. Unfortunately for Radoki, that's the worst position. You clean up the fire creeps, and you think, hey, I did it. I got this. I want to know why this man Ridoki did not go beads, even second at him. Like, I'm mad at him. How do you get this far in the game and say, you know what? I'm good without the beads. I've made it this far. It hasn't really been a problem yet not having the beads. Pretty fine. Maybe it was tilt. Maybe it was actually just I have made it this far and, you know, maybe we can do a little more. But, yeah, no. Unfortunately, Fenrir's ult does not fall off if you don't have... Oh, there it is. Actually does chip away at him enough there with his one proc. Yeah, Fenrir's ult's application does not fall off at all. The function is still very much the same all throughout the game, so you will need the bees going to the late game, whether you're, you know, whether it's early or late. There's always structures, or yeah, structures that you're going to be trying to take down too that he can drag you into, whether it be the tower, Phoenix, or even the Titan. This guy using the Luck of the Irish backing one, I never see that. He must be Irish. Ridoki's Irish. That's the only reason I see that. Yeah, he has gone for a double defense, and you know, I honestly, I can't blame him in this position. He's been getting beat down so hard, and this is such a bad matchup for him that, yeah, I mean, just try to live. And he's got an Executioner and a Chin Size done, along with the finished... Yeah, but you got no beats. But along with the finished Demonic... I'm sorry, the Valors. I always confuse those. They sound very similar. Wow, Fenrir actually did back off there. I thought he was going to go in on Ridoki once more. This is getting scary for Fenrir because late game, like I said, late game Xbalanque, I mean, he is a hunter, and Xbalanque especially. Ooh, what a great bait. I think he's dead here. One more auto finds it. Yeah. Holy crap. He's fighting into that double defense now, and he's coming up short. Yeah, I mean, so he's still a hunter, and he's a hunter with double defense, and you're a Fenrir who hasn't gone that much auto attack. Aussie instead of like Executioner or Chins. I think he should definitely swap out that Aussie for either Chins or Exie. I'd probably say Chins at this point. He's already got the Titan's Bane. So yeah, I think definitely you want to go more effective pen for your autos. God please no in the chat. People are mad. If this one goes through in Ridoki's favor, I'm telling you, Ridoki has the ability too. As you can see, he's responded very well each time Fenrir goes in on him. He knows what to do, except for the no beads. If it works out, you know, he's a genius, apparently. He's a secret genius. And it's the new meta to not go beads against Fenrir with gods that have no, you know, reliable escapes. But it would be incredibly unfortunate to see Kumai's, you know, who played this back and forth, just he knew how exactly to play this and manipulated the matchup to the utmost of its potential. Like, you know, fall after being about 6-0 or 5-0, I think it was. Ooh, this is very close, but I don't know. This could be the fall of Ridoki because he has all-in in a very tricky situation here in the jungle. He's missing a lot of in-hands. That ult is going to set up for so much. Ridoki's going to have to jump. Doesn't have it. Wow. Yep, and there you go. Kumai's should be taking this one down. He's got fire minions pouring in. That was all... that's the way it should have ended, honestly, because it came down to a battle of actual skill in that jungle. Ridoki just wasn't up to the task in that position. He missed way too many autos. He didn't juke out the Fenrir leap. And, you know, that was all on him to try to turn things around there. And, you know, whoever won there was probably going to take the game. And Kumai seals it out. Very well done. GG.